Hey, this is Ian Sharp. If you want to learn how to use your small axe to build an empire, you should be listening to the Small Axe podcast with my good friend Nico.
Hey guys, it's your boy Nico here from the Small Axe Podcast. I want to show you how to use your small axe to build a lasting empire. You see, not everybody begins their investing career with millions of dollars, a huge network of investors, or the knowledge necessary to become successful in this space, and that's okay. What I focus on here on this podcast is helping you hone your skills, sharpen your tools to become the best investor that you can be. Now, I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this show. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to me or the guest, feel free to do so. Love you guys.
Well, okay, Small Axe people, it's me, your favorite host, Nico Salgado. And today I'm hanging out with a really good friend of mine. His name is Ian Sharp. He is not from the United States of America, which is why it's intriguing to have him on. Really good, positive dude. We've been talking for years now, but I've never had him on the show. We have some great positive conversations that I think you're going to get a lot of value out of. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Ian.
Hey, thanks, Nico. I'm super grateful to be here, man. And I've been following your podcast for the last couple of years, and yeah, I've learned so much from the people and from you on those podcasts. So yeah, really appreciate the opportunity to be here and share with you, bud.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you were actually on you presented on our meetup at one time as well. So just a lot of value to give, and I want to get into it. But before we get there, let's give the listeners a little bit of context, a background story of who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today.
Sounds good, Nico. So originally from England, we came out when I was 5 years old on a boat, and we had no money when we first came to New Zealand. We used to clean movie theaters in the weekend. I remember with mum and dad and my younger sister cleaning movie theaters and finding loose change and all that kind of stuff. So from an early age, I realized that money isn't free. You know, you've got to get out there and earn it and make things happen. And my dad has been a great model for me on that. When we came to New Zealand, he couldn't read or write, and since then he's written 2 books, and he's been a school teacher and all that kind of stuff too. So I've looked to my dad in regards to perseverance and keep on going. So I did okay at school. I could have done better, but I sort of, school wasn't really my thing. But fortunately, I got a job as an apprentice at a newspaper. And early on, as a 17-year-old, I was looking at the people that were doing the same job as me, but 10 or 20 years later, and I was looking at the cars they were driving and the holidays they had and the houses that they lived in, their mental attitude and all that, and it didn't impress me at all. In fact, it scared me. I'm thinking, is this my journey? Next 10 and 20. Great people, had a lot of fun with them, and it was a great time. But from a 17-year-old, I started reading books like of Mendino and Napoleon Hill and all that kind of stuff. And I dabbled a few years later. I dabbled in different things, trying to look at avenues to create extra income, because I realized early on that if I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid, and that scared me as well. Like, doesn't matter how hard I work or how diligent I am in my job, I was getting paid as the same amount of money as other people. So I tried doing investment on my own, and I did okay in that. But I thought, this is really hard because everyone's trying to take a piece of you or the action, or they tell you one thing and it's something else. And I lost money along the way in property, and and it's a bit of a blow to your ego and to your finances. And I thought, there's got to be a better way of getting it, moving forward in a safe, logical way. And when I was investing in Auckland, I went along to some networking meetings, and I met this guy with a bit of an accent called Hadar. And we connected and sort of kept in touch. And then me, Teresa, and our young son moved to a small town 2 hours north of Auckland, which is where we were living. And didn't do too much because we sort of tapped out our finances in regards to borrowing to be able to buy property. And then I saw a post from Hadar talking about investment in America, and I'd listened to Bigger Pockets for a couple of years, years and years ago, when I think Bigger Pockets were just starting, but I didn't know how to break into that any further. So I reached out to Hadar. I spoke to a couple of people that were in MIH, the mastermind. That's how I met you, Nico, which I'm grateful for. And the rest is history. And an amazing group of people who are forward thinking, lifting up others, community focused, family focused, and just want to add value to other people. And I finally found my family that I want to be with, not just for the investing, but just in regards to mindset, health, nutrition, serving other people, being a go-giver. And I think about it all the time, probably like you, Nico. I kid you not, like it's on my mind. Like it's my default is thinking about MIH and what I can do, what other people are doing and all that. And I've been on cloud nine for 3.5 years now that I've been in the MIH community.
Oh, man, me too, Ian. And in our MIH community, we have like an MIH chat, and then you started another chat, MIH Well, and I want to get into that, but not just yet, because that's an important part of just living life, right? How we live, how we treat ourselves, our body, the people around us, and how we act and walk through this life. So that's extremely important, and I want to get there. Before I get there, though, what's interesting at this point is that you live in New Zealand, right? And is it not profitable to have rental real estate there? What is it like over there? And I know you are a broker. Maybe you could speak to that point as well.
Certainly, yes, I am a real estate agent or a realtor by day. And I do listings that basically people that I know will refer to me. So I could do a lot more and I could make a lot more money, but it's not my heart. My heart is actually in helping people in a more organic kind of way. But yet, multifamily in New Zealand isn't really a thing. It's starting to pick up a little bit now. Like there's a guy, Ryan, who joined MIH a couple of months, 6 months ago. Gosh, the year's flying by. And he bought a motel, a dilapidated motel complex, or 12 units or whatever else like that. And he's done that up and everything else. So I guess there is a way of getting into it, but in multifamily, it's not a traditional way of accommodation in New Zealand. It is changing now because the quarter acre dream is becoming, not that anymore, because every quarter acre section has got a house on the back now and all that. Because obviously New Zealand is very, very small, but our population is growing for various reasons and everything else. And, Hadar, he could have got into multifamily in New Zealand very successfully if it was a thing, but he sees America and particular states as a much, much better opportunity. And I totally agree with that.
But there is opportunity with like flipping. Is that accurate to say, I guess, over in New Zealand?
Yes, totally. In certain places, a lot of people would have heard in Christchurch, in particular in New Zealand, about 15 years ago, there was a massive earthquake. A lot of buildings and properties got damaged. And most of those have been repaired now, and the property market in Christchurch has picked up. But Hadar and Hun, another MIH awesome guy, have done really well in flips. I did one with them a couple of years ago, and that was very profitable. So it is still there, but New Zealand's expensive, mate. People that they don't move here because it's a cheap country to live in. It's everything's expensive here because of our geography and everything else. So the money's not really there in the flips these days, and you get taxed and all that kind of stuff too. So you've got to really be in it full time to be able to flip in New Zealand, I think, to do really well.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And also sorry, Nico, like the last 2 years in New Zealand, the economy's been in the drain a little bit too. So, it's definitely been a buyer's market as well. So trying to flip in a buyer's market, good luck. If you're good at it and you know what you're doing and you buy well, you can do well. But I think there's probably other ways that you can create money.
Got it. Thank you, Ian. Now, what are there particular states or types of assets that you look like? Is it strictly multifamily and you're looking in the United States, certain areas?
Yeah, I'm currently in a couple of deals as an LP in Kansas, which is a great market. There's a lot of new infrastructure going on there, the new airport, for example, and a lot of other things, which is really lifting the profile and the desirability of Kansas City. And I'm also in Oklahoma as well at this stage. So for me, it's more about the people that I'm going to be investing with, because these guys are boots on the ground. They live in the states, whether it's in the state they're investing in or not. I'm going to be guided by them. Obviously, I'll still do my own due diligence, and I'll run everything past Hadar and Marco and Hun as well to underwrite. But because I've been building these relationships for the last 3.5 years, like me and you, for example, there's an element of trust that you gain over that time. We're not fly-by-nighters. We're not in it for a quick buck. We're in it for long term, for our families and for each other. And for me, that's more important than just what the bottom line is. That's really, really important. But I'm excited about opportunities in the States in the next few years. I think as we grow and continue to learn, doors are going to open for us. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, this is the time that where I just over the past 4 years looking at in one specific market, the Tampa market, when I could not get a deal, I couldn't even get a broker to acknowledge me. Now they're calling me. There's so many fewer buyers that are out there. People are afraid of what's happening in the market. People are afraid of what's happening in the economy. We're struggling on our deals that we own and operate in the sense that we're not able to push rents. Rents are flat. It's just all signs of what what the economic situation is, and it's not a bad thing. It's just another cycle. So we all know that if we can buy right now, if the market were to get better, let's say, then the prices are going to go back up and we're going to be able to sell and capitalize on what we currently own. And that's where I'm at now. So thank God all of our properties are cash flowing and we're doing fairly well. Although when I say struggling, I mean, we can't push rents to what we thought we could. We can't, we're having more delinquency, more vacancy than what we anticipated, because the prior years were everybody was underwriting for 4% vacancy, which was the norm. Now it's closer to 10, maybe 8 to 10%.
Yeah.
And it's just the way things are. People are moving back home. They're roommating up, they're buddying up, and we're going to ride through this.
Exactly, mate. And it's by the three foundations that Gino Barbaro speaks about, right? Buy right, manage right, and buy right, manage right, and finance right. So you've got to have those pillars in place at the start. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And buying a good location, buy at the right price, and manage right too. Like have the right property management team in place to make sure there's no seepage. That if there's rubs there, make sure those rubs are being maximized. Add value to the tenants, like a dog park or something else. People are doing it tough, but if you're adding value to them, they're either going to see that value and pay more rent, or you're going to be able to get someone else in there who's willing to pay that extra money because of the things that you're offering that may be different to the place down the road.
Absolutely. Ian, you were talking about, and we also spoke about this briefly prior to hitting record, just trusting people and building that community and that network of people that we love in this MIH crew and community. There are certain people that we gravitate towards. And that is who I want to invest with. And that is actually holds more weight in my mind than a spreadsheet. So if something looks really good on paper, I would prefer to invest with guys that I know and girls that I know in the MIH community that I've built a relationship with. I would trust their opinion and input over like just, let's say, a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Because you know what, no matter what the deal is, there's going to be challenges and problems that are going to come up, right? And you want to embrace those challenges and problems head on, but do it with people that are like-minded as you. That you've got those runs on the board in regards to building a relationship, find out about their history, what their likes and dislikes are, and all that. Because I think when we have a challenge with a property, it's like an opportunity to grow and to learn as well as solve that problem. And it's going to happen. It's like when, so let's be with those people. So I want to invest with people that I would want to go away with on holiday with. And and there's a time to talk numbers, and there's a time to talk issues. And also, if we feel like someone in the team is maybe not pulling their weight or there's something else, we can talk it out. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't want to be hanging out with people that are fragile with everything. Just like let's talk from the heart.
It's so true. And life is too short.
I let my sunshine friends go a long time ago. Some people you only hear from them when they want something, or they're down on their luck, or something else. Hey, and you're there for them and all that kind of stuff too. But I guess as you get older, you become a bit more mindful about who's actually adding to you. Who can you call in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, I've broken down. Can you come and get me," or something like that. They're the people that I want to invest with and do life with.
Hell yeah. You got me. You got me all pumped up, Ian. So let's talk a little bit about your philosophy of maintaining our health, which is paramount to the longevity of our life, to the quality of our life, and to us being able to do what we love to do, hanging out with each other, eating good food, investing, working out, exercising. What is your philosophy on all this stuff, this health?
Well, it's interesting, right? New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff. I take that stuff with a grain of salt. I don't like the word diet. I think that word's got connotations to it, so I don't even think about that word. But again, I'll go back to my dad. Again, when we came to New Zealand, we were starting from scratch basically. He was really into nutrition and wellness. He became one of the first naturopaths in New Zealand, which is to do with naturopathy and eating well and herbs and the planet, Mother Earth and what it can do for you and all that. And so I didn't go down that route with my dad, but it rubbed off on me. Yes, as a teenager, I drank like a fish and smoked like a chimney, right? And I freaking love those days. I'm glad they're well behind me, but they were good days. But I grew out of it, the whole peer pressure thing, that kind of thing. I'm grateful that I did, because I'm still friends now with a girlfriend from when I was 20, 21. And she looks like 20 years older than me, and she still smokes and drinks. Hey, I'd like a glass of wine here and there, but I'm really mindful about that kind of stuff. So, mate, I've been on this journey for a long time. I used to run like a lot and work out at the gym and all that kind of stuff. But in my 20s and 30s, it was more about like image and being pumped and jacked and really, really strong. As I've moved into my 40s and above, it's more about range of motion, mental as well, and being able to do basic things every single day. So I put a text to somebody today, like, my thing is really longevity. Like, what do I need to do on a daily basis that I'm going to be able to live, God willing, to 100 plus, to be around for Daniel and his grandkids, etc., and not just be freaking a zombie on the couch, right? So that kind of, and when a thing comes up, oh, this lady's 104 years old. I just read one today. She still goes to work, a couple of times a week, and she does it. She's got a hard job that she does, And so we've got to be active. We've got to eat well, drink well, and put our bodies outside our comfort zone. Our brains are conditioned to get us to be warm, dry, comfortable, rested, and all that kind of stuff. We've got to reboot our system on a regular basis. I have a cold shower pretty much every single morning. It's not as good as an ice bath, but I don't have the place for one of those. And to be honest, if I had an ice bath, I probably wouldn't use it that much. It'd be a fad, and then I wouldn't fill it up in it. But you know what? I have a shower every single day. So why not freaking make it a cold one as well as having a warm one later on? I do breathing exercises. That's one of the easiest things to do, but it really, really gets the body going. I walk barefoot on the grass every single day that I can. I'm mindful of when I go outside. I go outside into the grass to pick mandarins. I'm barefoot, man. We weren't born with shoes on our feet. We need to connect. It's called grounding, whatever. We've got to connect with Mother Earth. I listen to the birds when I'm picking these mandarins. I eat mostly well. I love chocolate. I love biscuits. I love potato chips. I love all that stuff. I'm the same as everybody else. But if it's not in the pantry, I can't eat it. So you know what? I'm on my guard at the supermarket, man. I'm on my guard because they want to sell you that stuff. It's at the checkout. It's on the end of the aisles. Do I buy it sometimes? Yes, I do. Do I pig out on it sometimes? Yes, I do. But I've worked for it. I've done sprints that day. I've freaking done something else. I've got a sauna at home. Probably one of the best investments you can ever make for your health is getting yourself a home sauna. Watch out for them, because most of them are actually really high in EMFs, which is the radiation, the bad radiation. Be careful if you buy a sauna that yours is really low in EMFs, and also make sure it doesn't have those toxic glues and everything else in it as well. So you need to do your homework in regards to having a home sauna. Connecting with like-minded people, like you, mate. You're helping my longevity just by talking to you. I do volunteer work. I've been doing it for almost 20 years, 7 years in this town and 13 years in Auckland with old people, with refugees, breakfast in schools and low decile schools, all that kind of stuff, man. We've got to get out there and do it. I like to blob out, though. I'm a movie buff. I like to sit on the couch and watch movies as well. But it's all about balance. But the balance has got to be tipped towards longevity and health and nutrition. But enjoy those treats. It's really, really important. I take some key supplements. I've been a sore naturopath one day. I literally took a gym bag with me with all the stuff in there. One, I was always running out of something. Two, I couldn't afford all that kind of stuff. So I've narrowed it down to, still more than a handful, but key supplements that I know that work for me. And they've been really, really good. Creatine is one I've got back into just recently, just the basic stuff, the monohydrate. I took it in my 20s and 30s when I was really, really jacked and stuff. But now I take it because it's got lots of other benefits in regards to your mind and your total body. And as you get older too, it's called sarcopenia. I can't pronounce it properly. It's basically your muscles start to waste away. We've got to look after our muscles. We've got to maintain them or even grow them because they're like the powerhouses of our metabolism. You see a lot of older people, they're quite thin. Their metabolism is probably not going to be very good because they don't have the muscles there helping them with their metabolism. So you've got to be a student for life when it comes to multi-family investing. You've got to be a student for life when it comes to nutrition and wellness for you and your family.
Oh, Ian, so well put, man. You actually got, so we live very similar and parallel lives in this sense. And you actually got me back on creatine as well. I was doing it in my late teens. And then there were all these things that came out about, like kidney issues and people dying from overdosing on it. But what you do is you take 3 to 5 milligrams at this age. When we're, after you pass your 40s, I mean, you stop producing it. And I've noticed this. I only started doing it maybe 8-9 months ago. And I've noticed a significant increase in my ability to maintain my workouts, have better workouts, recover faster. Like there's just so many benefits for it. And it's just literally just 3 to 5 grams in the morning and that and many other supplements that I take as well. Just from, conversations with you and other people that like to live this lifestyle where we are healthy, we feel good, and we want to maintain this lifestyle for as long as we possibly can.
That's awesome, Nico. And just the basic creatine as well, the cheap stuff, as long as it's 100% pure is key. Back in the day, I was taking all this other stuff, which is Buffett and all that kind of stuff. And it was more expensive and all that. Just the basic stuff, man. I take 5 grams a day. Most of my supplements, I have 5 days on, 2 days off. And then if I go away, I don't take them. Creatine, I take pretty much every single day. It's that important to me. And getting back to my volunteer work, I do it with the elderly people on a Monday morning till lunchtime. There's probably, 60 people there. Over half of them probably still renting. 2/3 of them are in not very good shape. 2 or 3 of them are sprightly, mind strong, jump around, all that. I want to be one of those people. And most of us have a choice. It's about taking responsibility for our finances, taking responsibility for our health. Yes, some of us are born with certain genes and blah, blah, blah. And I get that. I respect that. But genes have got, a smaller part to play in a lot of that stuff than people actually realize. It's the little habits that we do on a constant basis is what defines us, whether it's to do with health, finances, friendships with people, whatever else. It's those little habits that we do daily is the key.
Yeah, Ian, you mentioned so a couple of things. I know that we're running short on time here. Do you have to go? Do you have a hard stop? I can end in a few, but I just want to know if you have a hard stop.
No, another 5 or 10 minutes is fine, my friend. Totally.
Okay, so I'm very interested in the cold plunge and the sauna. Now, I do what you do. So I'll take my warm shower, but then I turn it as cold as possible. I was doing this every day in the winter, and I'll do it for 3 to 5 minutes, and it's grueling because it's hitting me in my face, and it's in the wintertime in New York. It is very cold, but now in the summertime I don't have that anymore because it's like the water's coming out of the faucet maybe 60 something degrees at this point. It's not very cold. It's not very effective. So I was considering a cold plunge. But I want to do that because there are significant benefits to cold plunge as well as a sauna. Now I'm also looking into a sauna. I had no idea what you were talking about with the glue being an issue, as well as the EMs or EMFs, something that you said that we have to watch
EMF, electric magnetic frequencies.
Are there different?
That's a big deal. I was selling a house a couple of years ago, and the vendors offered me the sauna, but I had the control pad was dodgy, right? So I looked and I went and researched. I think it's going to be easy to fix, whatever. And then I went down this rabbit hole of EMFs, and that one was particularly high. So I said, thank you, no thank you. And so I started looking around for saunas that are lower in EMS. They're all going to have something. So that's a big thing. I think so many people are out there thinking they're doing a really good job with their saunas and detoxing, but they're actually getting hit with other things that are actually really, really bad for them. So do your homework on everything. There's a really good brand in the States that I know and recommend. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's good Facebook groups and all that kind of stuff too. So the thing about cold showers, right? Yeah, same here, mate. We live out in the country, so we're on tank water here, rainwater into our tank. It gets so cold in winter, which we're getting to now. It feels like pins and needles on your head. Like it is so cold, like you start to feel a headache. So I just take cold showers on their own. I don't combine that with a warm shower. So I traditionally will get up. As soon as I get up, I go have my cold shower straight away. It's hard, man. Getting out of a nice warm bed, going into winter, get up and have a shower, cold shower. Freaking doing it, man. I'm freaking doing it. No one's going to tell me. No one's going to give me a high five. You got to get a. Do it.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta do it.
always going to have cold showers. Summertime, different story because it's warmer here as well. You know what? From what I read and understand, saunas are more important to you than cold showers. Like there's different benefits in cold, but the real benefits are in hot. So I do saunas all year round. The magic number, again, I think I understand, is 4. I do between 3 and 4 saunas a week. And that's really, really cool. That's what I do. The people that I follow in regards to nutrition and wellness is Dr. Huberman and Dr. Atia. Those are the main 2 guys. And there's another doctor called Dr. Rhonda something, I think. Yeah, the other 3 people that I follow. So it's really important that we get where we get our information from, because everyone's got an opinion on everything: property, exercise, supplements, everything. So I cross-reference key people in different areas to find out what I actually believe. Because we've all got blind spots. We've all got our own filters on how we perceive things and what we think of those things. So and what I love about these 3 people is that they sometimes change their mind. New research, new studies have been done. And they go, hey, actually, this is what I'm doing now. There's been a bit of a pullback from these people in regards to intermittent fasting. Some of them will go like really hard out. They'll pull back a little bit on that. And I have too. I used to be quite proud of myself personally on my fasting prowess. I've cut back on that a little bit. I still fast most days, but I'm a bit more mindful about not overdoing it. If I'm hungry, I'll eat, and I really feel like I'm hungry. It's not just a whim. I'll eat something.
I'm the same, Ian, and you got me into intermittent fasting as well, and I do it most days. I'll do the 16 or the 16 and 8. So I'll go for 16 hours not eating, and then I'll eat for 8 hours. Then
I do pretty much that too.
Yeah, it's very easy for me, and I feel great doing it. But there are days that I do need to eat as well, and then there are days where I could do a 24-hour, no problem. I've done 1 48-hour so far, and I look to do that again at some point as well. I also love Andrew Huberman. I got into him fairly recently, a few months ago, and he's just so well spoken and so knowledgeable. Ian, you and I are going to be doing this forever. This investing, this making sure that we are surrounding ourselves with the right people, making sure we're taking care of ourselves. This is who we are. And I am just so proud and honored to have you join me today and be, part of my podcast and my show and what I want to present to my audience, because this is a big part of my life. So thank you so much for joining me today, Ian.
You're welcome. It's been absolutely wonderful. And it's great to have that wellness chat as well that we set up. When I first joined MIH 3.5 years ago, I said to Marco, I said, mate, I know ground zero about multifamily, in fact, not much about the States at all, but I do know a bit about wellness. And I said, how about we set up a wellness chat? And a lot of people have got a lot of value out of that. And a lot of people say to me, Ian, I'm a bit of a stalker. I don't comment or anything, but I've learned stuff from it. And that really, really fills my heart, because we're all on a journey. We're all learning. We're students for life, and we're here to help each other. And that's what I really value the most about the MIH community.
Oh, man, I know. I appreciate you so much. Ian, we're going to do 2 things. I'm going to ask you my final question, which is going to be a doozy. And then I'm going to have you, share some sort of way that people can contact you. But first, let's get this question. So let's imagine it was 100 years from now. You have great grandchildren. They wanted to write a book about you and your life. Ian, what would you want them to title this book?
Oh, I probably need a bit more time to get it exactly right, but something like my great granddad lived a full life. And I feel like that full part is still actually ahead of me. Not behind, there's been a lot of times where I've just cruised along in life. but being part of the MIH community has got me into overdrive. So that's probably the thing. It's like I lived a full life, you know. I want to burn the candle at both ends, not just at one end. And I don't want to leave anything at the end. And I want to leave the world in a better place than I found it. And there's opportunities every single day to do that. Saying, how was your day to the checkout operator? How many people actually say that to someone when they're getting their groceries scanned, right? Little things like that goes a long way. You know, we don't have to do much to rise above mediocrity. And this is the philosophy of the MIH community. That's how we roll.
Ian, man, you're the coolest. I really love talking with you. Thank you, man. All right, let's get the listeners some form of reaching out to you. It could be an email, phone number, whatever, your website if you have one, whatever you feel you want people to reach you on.
Yep, certainly. Probably easiest would be on email. It's all lowercase, the Sharpies at hotmail.com, THESHARPIES at hotmail.com. And I'd love to connect with anybody in this group. But your Small Axe podcast is friggin' unbelievable, and your consistency, the people you get on, and the knowledge that they share. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you, Ian. I truly appreciate you, and we will continue our conversation.
Get well, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Hey, Small Axe community. I would like to say thank you for listening to another episode of my podcast where we show you how to use your small axe to build a lasting empire. Now, if you liked what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. Also, if you want to get in touch with me, go to my website at smalaxecommunities.com. Book a call with me. And until the next episode, keep sharpening those axes.